Hi, Fashion Dolls. Welcome back. It is Motivation Monday, April 28th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Joining me today, Fashion Dolls, for his first ever primetime exclusive interview with me, we have OF creator, the one and only Darren Blaze, who joins me. And I'm fixing to share this live. You guys are getting two shows today. We have Lance D. Thompson Jr., who joins me at 4 p.m. And coming up, we have Darren Blaze who will be joining me. Hi, brother. Shout outs to my brother, K-Tooks, host of the K-Tooks Spot. Make sure you guys please go and check out his platform. We did a couple collaborations together. So y'all make sure y'all go and check those collabs out. Are y'all feeling the mauve pink today? Because I surely am. I feel like a Barbie doll in this type of pink. This is almost like a rosy mauve soft pink. And I absolutely love it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share this live with Darren so that we can get him in here. Toot, toot, toot. And I hope you all are doing as fabulous as I am. We are at the end of this month. Like, we only have, we've got tomorrow, and then we have the 30th, and then that's it. So we'll be in May before you know it. And as you all know, May 5th is the biggest fashion event in the world, and that is the Met Gala. And I will be doing fashion coverage. I will have you guys covered with that here on the gram. So without further ado, let's welcome one of the hottest OF creators there is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the dollhouse, Darren Blaze. Give me a sec. Yes, y'all like the big hair. You know what? Doc Parton said it best. The bigger the hair, the closer to
Um,
switch. There we are. Hello.
hey, how's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to the dollhouse. We are in spring colors. We see I'm in mauve pink, and you chose mint green.
Hey, it's still April. I'm still coming off Easter a little bit, so
Yeah.
you know.
So before we kick off this interview, how has 2025 been for you so far?
Crazy. It's been a ride. It's been nonstop.
Oh, oh my goodness. And we're going to get into some things, but I like to start
Okay.
from the beginning. Tell us, who is Darren Blaze? Tell us a little bit about your story and where you grew up. How many siblings?
So I am a military child, originally from San Antonio, Texas. I was here for about 8 years. And then my mom, she got married to a military man. So for the next 10 years, we just traveled the world a lot. Germany, Oklahoma, Colorado, you name it. And then I joined the military and I did 8 years, roundabout. 8 years active, 11 total when you count my reserve time and guard time. Um, and I have three siblings. I'm the oldest of four.
Wow. And what we have in common is that my brother served in the military, my father served in the Marines, and my uncle also served in the military. So salutes to you and salute to all of the troops out there. If you're watching, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
that.
for your
Yes,
service.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Appreciate it.
100%. So what was it like for you being a military brat, growing up, having to travel from country to country to country?
You know, actually, I enjoyed it. I got used to different things, new things. I want to say I went to four elementaries, probably three high school. I mean, three middle schools. Then I went to two high schools. Now that was the only time that was difficult for me because I was at the same high school for 3.5 years, and I had left like my senior year. I mean, I had my girlfriend at the time. I was sad trying to get those scholarships. That was the only time I was really ever upset about moving. But I enjoyed it.
Okay, okay. So welcome, Pure Lux Salon. Thank you for the sparkles. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad y'all like the mild pink. Thank you. Um, More about your story. You went from being a military vet to being to one of the hottest OF creators in the world. So what was that
Yeah.
transition like for you, and what did family say about it?
Oh man. So where do I start? Where do I start? Um, so like I said, I was in the military and I was married, and things didn't turn out the way that I expected them to, or I would have wanted them to. Unfortunately, you're young, you married, traveling the world. Um, there were things that I didn't do right. There was things that probably she would say that she didn't do right. And we all have sexual curiosities and proclivities, or ever, um, so over time, I was interested in adult film and adult entertainment from a child. Um, that was kind of my introduction. You go in and you see your dad or your stepdad's secret stash, and that was the first thing that kind of piqued my interest. So fast forward a couple years later, I kind of learned about a classy way to say it is alternative dating, but you can call it swinging, lifestyle, whatever. I kind of would find these ads in these websites where people were like, hey, I'm looking for a hookup, or I'm looking for this, or this certain situation. And, I was pretty surprised about that. I was like, wow, you know. So I went down that rabbit hole of swinging, lifestyle, alternative dating, whatever you want to call it. Um, and so as the years went on, I started finding about these events, these hotel lifestyle events. We call them hotel takeovers. Pretty much, you have these groups who sponsor these lifestyle swinger events, and they buy out the whole hotel. So I mean, it's just a whole weekend of shenanigans and fun, and they put you in these groups. Um, they can be chat groups, message groups, and one of the guys he said, "Hey, we have a lady who does content, and she'd like a couple guys to film a scene with if anybody like to volunteer." And I found her to be attractive, and I was like, well, why not? I mean, I might as well because even from the get-go, people have been filming me couples. That was always a thing. They were like, "Hey, can we take pictures?" And this is like a big deal for us. So once I did that, it just kind of transitioned to where I'm at now.
And I'm going to say this because I've had inter OF creators and adult entertainers on my platform previously. I try not to judge people, but what I love about you, Darren, is that you just don't make this your avenue. You are a businessman. You are a renaissance man. And
Thank you.
my thing is this: you're a black man. So I see what you're doing. And everybody has to hustle and get in their own way, especially in these times, which is what we talked about. I said I wanted to discuss more of that with you, and you discussed it with Mr. Flores. I'm like, everything that he's saying is spot on about.
Right.
I'm a try to keep my seatbelt on today because I really want to go in on him so bad. Like, he
Yeah.
showed his ass over the weekend at the Pope's funeral. If y'all missed it, and
Oh,
I'm really trying to keep
oh
it
yeah.
straight. Yes, but what
You
I
talking
love
about
about
47?
go ahead. I'm sorry,
Are you referencing 47?
Mr. Orange. Yes, Agent Orange.
Got you. Got
Yes,
you. I
yes.
got you.
Yeah, he showed his ass over the weekend. If y'all missed it, um, what was I saying? Giving you your flowers. What I love about you is you don't just make it your lane. A lot of people don't stay. They get in this business, and it's like a side hustle for them. They have to make their money. So my thing is stop passing judgment because I noticed you got a lot of backlash from the Houston event that took place. And
Yeah.
my thing is this: to each his own. Let people have their fun and experiment and make their money. As long as they're making their money and they're helping their family out, it shouldn't matter. People have to make money in some sort of way, especially in these times. Because last time I checked it, I don't know if y'all checked that story I posted in my stories, but some of these stores are gonna have no products on them pretty soon because of what he's been doing with these tariffs. And for those of you who don't know how tariffs work, import and exports, how they come into the country, how you have to make that those agreements, all of those things, everything that he's doing is messing up our relationship with other countries so that the products that are coming in, you're going to be paying a whole lot more. Us, the consumers, will pay a whole lot more. So what gems would you give to people who are looking to get into this business because it is not for the faint-hearted?
Um. Oh, that's a good question. What gems would I give? I mean, consistency. Um, And you have to be, it's not easy. People just look at like, oh, you do porn or you do content. I don't know if I can say that. If I can't say that word on there, I don't want to get you in trouble. Content.
No, you
I don't want to
can.
get that shit.
Listen, I said adult entertainment, so I've
Let's,
had adult entertainers on the show. So yes, you can say it.
let me just say adult entertainment because I ain't trying to get, IGB on it. So, my advice would be it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and do certain
Mhm.
things. Um, whether that's, I mean, I've traveled across the U.S. for shoots. I didn't got to rent a car. I didn't pay $100 Uber, there and back just so I can make the shoot. Because if not, I wouldn't have made it. Um, being able to be tested, consistently, looking presentable, um, and it's not as easy as it seems. A big part of doing content is marketing too. Like people just think like, oh, I can just shoot something and I can just throw it out in the ecosphere. And it doesn't necessarily work like that. You kind of have to market that
Oh yeah,
scene and push it, whether that's you on Reddit, you on, the X-rated sites, or you making little GIFs and clips. So it does take a little bit more effort than what you see.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's to anybody in any field. You make sure that you're marketing yourself, and I'm glad that you said that because even with having this platform, you have to make sure that you're announcing, letting people know exactly what you do, and
Mhm.
network. And that's what we're doing now. We're networking. I don't care what field you're in. If you're black and you're doing something and I see what you're doing, you get a seat at my table.
Absolutely.
I'm welcoming you because being black in this business, whether it may be the adult entertainment business, I work in the fashion and beauty field. And I know as a black woman, I'm going to experience racism. I'm not going to reek the garments of a Rachel Zoe or a Paris Hilton. I know that for sure. But what I love about you also is that you just don't make this your living. You have other things going on outside of this. And my advice to anybody, if you have a business plan, go ahead and put that business plan out here now. If you have a brand that you want to start, I have a girlfriend and she has her own body care, skincare, hair oils, all of that. Shout outs to Hypnotic Skincare in Atlanta. What I love about her is that she got it from the jump. She started her business from the ground up. And that's for anybody out here who's looking to start a business because I'm pretty sure you would like to have merch and things. I mean, Lex
Yeah,
still has merch. Mr. Marcus has merch. Who else? The icon herself, the woman who paved the way for women in the adult entertainment industry, and that's Jenna Jameson. She had her
there you
site.
go.
She had everything. So you have to make. Then she went mainstream. She got into fragrance. She started doing fragrances and things. So that's something that I could see happening in the future with you as well. It's just this because a
Absolutely.
lot of people get in this business and they think about it and they're just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to have something else to fall back on. Look at our girl T.S. Madison. She was in the adult entertainment business. And now look at her. Emmy award winning actress, Emmy award winning host, RuPaul's Drag Race. So I mean we see her
Yeah.
shifting. And a lot of these entertainers who get in the biz, they're like, okay, I've done this. This is a part of my life. I want to do something else. So what is next in the chapter for you? Because right now you're on fire, and I don't see you slowing down as yet. But what is next in the chapter for Darren Blaze?
Oh, I mean, man, you hit it spot on. I mean, always trying to diversify, have what is it called, multiple
Streams of
fires in the oven, or
income. Yeah.
maybe I'm mispronouncing that. But I want to I want to continue to invest in real estate, invest in stocks. Um, Eventually, I'd like to do my own podcast, which I don't think that's the most difficult thing. It's just a matter
Do
of
it.
not saying trying to downplay it, but just a logistical thing, getting those in play, and you know, um, what else would I say? I still do everyday things. People just think like, people ask me, they're like, "Oh, do you do content, doing entertainment full time?" And to an extent, it looks like it, but I'm just extremely efficient. So on a given weekend, I may go to ABNs or Expo, and I may knock out 18s because that's over a 4 day period, and I've just planned it strategically. So, that if you're smart, that'll take you out to 2, 3 months at a time, depending on how you push that content. So, but I have a notary business. I still do freelance work where I work with small businesses and companies who need extra help. They're short staff, extra bodies. Still assist with vets because you have to get away. That's another thing the advice that I would give to people is you have to get away from sometimes from what you do. If you in the fashion industry, right? And you want to be all in, just like content, but every once in a while you just have to step back a little bit, come back and reset. And what I find with people in the adult industry is they are so immersed in it 24/7, 24/7 that they'll have burnout. So you have to get out. I like the phrase touch grass. You have to get out and just take a minute. I'm not saying so far away from it, but go reset, go do something that just totally, is different and unique. Clear your mind and then come back to it with a refresh mindset.
I'm so glad that I'm gonna go back to what you just said. You said helping the vets and helping people. And these
Hmm.
times, we're seeing military soldiers. The military is being under attack. Soldiers who served in this country from this administration wanting to roll back. And you know where I'm going with the whole, and it was something Mr. Flores touched on, DEI initiatives. Um,
Hmm.
you do know, for those of you who are watching, who voted for this man, you do know that DEI includes you also too, not just us that look like this screen right here, black people. It includes you too. Because I mean, how do you think what's his name got into position that he's gotten in, and he's not even qualified for it? So DEI includes everybody, and that's what I want people to understand. But they use it as a slur to us as black people when we know what they actually low key really want to call us. They can't say it because they know we'll catch on to it. So when they say woke, when they say DEI initiatives, we know exactly what they want to say. And Mr. Flores touched on that. He touched on DEI initiatives and Mr. Musk and how I'm glad you said stocks as well too. That's another thing for those of you who do not know. Elon Musk has our data, and it is so alarming to me. I am terrified because each and every one of us, that includes each and every one of us, your bank statements, all of that, he has it. People were fired. People were laid off. Veterans were laid off and are out here being mistreated from the draft dodger in chief, Agent Orange.
Yeah,
Darren,
you know
as
they
someone who
don't want
served
to hear that.
into the military, I wanted to know your thoughts because I'm like, this is a spit in the face to my father who served in the Marines. This is a spit in the face to you who've served in the country as well too. My brother and my uncle who also served into the military. And we're seeing attacks on soldiers, their rights being rolled back, their benefits being stripped from them from this administration. So how does that make you as someone who fought in the military field?
Um, there's a couple ways to look at it. I don't see everything as bad, but I don't see everything as positive either. I do think there's a better way to do things. I'm not a fan of cutting the VA and troops. You
Right.
know, I just feel like, and it's so rapid. You know what I mean? I feel like if there's a more thought out and measured plan in place where things can be just done in a better fashion, you know what I mean? But I'm definitely not a fan of cutting um and maybe some of these politicians, you know what I mean? I could see that. I could see some of the budget, but the vets and people who are at the VA and in the hospital systems, I definitely don't think that's right. I definitely disagree with it.
At all. I mean, a 76-year-old woman who was on oxygen, her oxygen was cut because he did a
Yeah.
freeze fire. Babies,
Mm.
a baby who had cancer was 4 children had been deported out of this country. So I'm going to just say it what it is, and it's about time that we start using the language, y'all. This is authoritarianism. This is fascism. Hear me and hear me good. And me giving this information, it might be a target on my back because he's now targeting journalists. He's targeting anybody who's notable. And we're seeing him go after CBS and ABC. And I don't know if you guys also know this, but the Smithsonian Museum, Darren, you know, for each and every one of us, Black people, we built this country. All of
Absolutely.
our rights, all of everything that we have fought for, all of our contributions are in that museum. Artifacts are being removed right now as we speak, y'all. African American artifacts. Yeah. And I'm not fear mongering. I'm not trying to get you
Crazy.
angry. I just want people to wake up and realize that this is where we are. And we're seeing
It's
more and
definitely,
more being stripped away from us each and every day.
yeah, it's very alarming. Like I said, that's a very uncomfortable conversation that we happen to have right now, which as a nation is
Absolutely.
crazy.
And y'all were giving Darren so much backlash. Oh, why he did this? Why he went the money is money. He's making money, y'all. He's making money, but at the end of the day, he's not like a Byron Donalds. He's not like in my state, because I'm in South Carolina. We got Tim Scott, who went up here and shuck and jive and said, "Oh, I love this guy."
Oh wow.
And now, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it, Candace Owens is now singing a different tune. Love to see it. Love to see it. All before, she was out here sprouting some of the most dangerous anti-black rhetoric there is, y'all. And it's just like if you stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Don't be a mouthpiece for white supremacy. Because at the end of the day, yes, you're in there with them. But when they're done with you and they're done using you, they'll discard you. You're right along with the rest of us. A judge in Wisconsin was arrested. I mean, I could go on and on of things this man has done. His 100 days that he's been in the office, and he has done nothing but cause chaos, corruption, and destruction. This is straight out of Hitler's playbook. And I want
Yes.
us as
Ooh.
Black people, each and every one of us, regardless of what industry that we're in, adult entertainment, fashion, beauty. You've got Joy Reid. Her show was canceled, and he was cheering for it. I mean, Joy Reid was raking in views. She was one of the most viewed shows on MSNBC, and her show got canceled because he doesn't like when it's powerful Black women who are at the front lines speaking out against him. What, or women in general speaking out against him, what does he say? Oh, she was mean to me. She was rude to me. He doesn't like the tough questions. He doesn't like being grilled. They don't like being fact checked in real time. And that's what you have to do with this administration. Because these people were here legally. They are legally here. They have their citizenship and everything. And you have Stephen Miller, all of these architects behind him putting the battery in his back. Steve Bannon as well too. The goal, y'all, is to flood the zone to the point where we can't even keep up with everything that he's doing. And then, as Darren said, you need to invest in stocks. Black people, if you got stocks, make sure you keep checking on your stocks. Make sure you keep checking on your
Yep.
401k, because that's another thing. Donald Trump and them, they're using your hard-earned tax-paying dollars for him to go play golf, for him to hold these private dinners for, what is it, Bitcoin buyers? That's
Yeah,
your
cryptocurrency. Hmm.
hard-earned money. Your hard-earned money. And that was something Mr. Flores, I think, touched on as well, too, on his platform. I seen the interview you two did after
Yeah.
the election happened. I was devastated. I was devastated that she didn't win. I voted for Kamala, and I wanted her to win. I knew she was going to do the right thing. She warned you economically that everything that he's doing to hurt us would crash the economy. If you are deeply invested in stock, I suggest everybody go and check your stock out. Buy
Yeah.
another thing for Black people. Kendrick said it best. He wants his 40 acres and a mule. For Black people, if you
You.
have land, I suggest you going ahead and start investing into that. Because the goal for what they're going to do with education, we got Linda McMahon, WWE, as the Department of Education Secretary.
Wow.
The last term, it was Betsy DeVos. It was Betsy
Yeah.
DeVos the last time. But this is unbelievable. You got Hegseth, that's the Secretary of Defense. You got Christy Nome. You've got Linda McMahon. You've got RFK Jr., JFK, who was a Democrat and who would have never stood for anything that he's doing. This man is now in charge of our health care. And
It's definitely a mess. It's mm.
this whole cabinet is a circus. And I kind of took a deep breath like that, because I can't believe I'm saying all of these things. Like, fascism will turn your world upside down. We are looking unrecognizable to the rest of the world. We are literally like North Korea, annexed.
Yeah.
Our ally is now Russia, where it should be the other way around. It should be Ukraine that should be our ally, not Russia. But we know why he didn't impose those tariffs on Russia. We know why. We know exactly why. Because Vladimir Putin don't play. And he is Vladimir Putin's Trojan horse. So he knows not to go against his zaddy Vlad. Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
And what gets me is that he has a love for dictators. That was something she also brought up at the debate. She said he loves cozying up to adversaries. We don't cozy up to Vladimir Putin. We don't cozy up to Kim Jong-un. We don't
Right.
cozy up to
Yeah. He.
Viktor Orban. We don't cozy up to our adversaries. He said he could have the war ended in 24 hours. You're begging Putin on X, or was it Truth Social, which one, to stop what he's doing. That man is not going to stop unless you want to wind up falling out of a third story window if you know you know. Or in some freak car accident. We know how Putin operates. He's dangerous. The same way Donald Trump is. This is fascism. And I want people to open up their eyes and realize that your world is not looking the way it was if it was a Bush Republican that was in office. Because I don't think Bush would do half of this stuff that he's doing.
Different times.
Definitely in a different Republican Party. You're dealing with cult members. They are brainwashed. And when I had Conscious TV here last week, we touched on cults and how cults work. And I'm pretty sure you know of the story of Jim Jones, Darren, and
Oh, yeah.
Koresh, and how these cult leaders work by saying, I am the answer. It's the trans, it's the drag queens, it's women, it's the Jewish people, it's the blacks, it's any marginalized group that is causing the problem. But I am your savior. See, what Project 2025 is, because see, Taraji P. Henson warned you, I warned you, T.S. Madison warned you. You had Bruce Springsteen, hell, he warned you how dangerous Donald
Yeah.
Trump was. The
He
boss.
did perform. Yeah. Yep.
Queen Latifah even warned you how dangerous Project 2025 was. And even though he's not political, Usher warned you.
It was
Project
in the
2025
building.
is like Jim Crow. Think of Jim Crow, Manifest Destiny, the Great Replacement Theory, and the Golden Age or the Gilded Era. The Gilded Age, the Golden or Gilded Era was more
Mm.
so for the elite of the elite. And I'm pretty sure you've seen pictures of it, Darren, where it's like white, wealthy, elite, and their beautiful
Avita.
ball gowns. Yeah. And there were some blacks there that were part of that elite. And it was a show on HBO a long time ago. I can't remember the name of it right off the bat. But shows like this show that. And it was always the white elite, rich working class that succeeded and benefited in this country. And for black people, for us, we have been brought down. The goal is to bring us down to our knees. But you know what? Dulce Sloan, the comedian, she said it best. America was built on a business. It was built on a business of rich white men. The Republican Party is now a party for rich white men. You might as well call it a country club for rich white men because they don't want
But
anybody. Go ahead, Darren.
don't you think
Sorry.
it's always been like that though? Like, don't you? And I'm not saying that, but don't you think it's always been a party of the rich, or it's catered toward rich white men? The Republican Party, just a little bit.
Boom. Because I mean, look at Bush. Bush is
Hmm.
Bush is rich. Look at all of these
Yeah.
Republicans. McCain is another one. Oh, and that's another thing. McCain also warned, yeah, that he would go after journalists. What do you see Donald Trump doing now? Why do you think ABC, CNN, and all of these networks caved to him and bent the knee so fast? Because
It's
it
true.
starts with an attack on the press. See, Hitler has in Russia, Hitler has news outlets that make him look as though he is above and beyond. He is a deity. They paint him in a good light. You can't type
Right.
nothing bad. You can't hold him accountable because if you do, then you are labeled what? The enemy within or a traitor. and they would print your name in the newspapers. That's how they would do in Germany. And if you took economics, government economics, or global studies or social studies in school, you know about Hitler and World War II and Nazi Germany and how they took over. This is exactly
A lot of
that
parallels. A lot of
everywhere.
parallels.
This is straight out of the authoritarian playbook, and the only difference is remodeled as the reshaping of America. That's what it said for Project 2025. Am I
Yeah.
correct, y'all? Let me know. They said it's the reshaping of America. You want to do away with black people. You want to, when I seen the achievements of Jackie Robinson scrubbed off of the site and then they were replaced back, I was furious. My blood boiled. When I seen the
That's
achievements
crazy.
of Harriet Tubman being stripped away, I was upset about that as well too. Because I'm like, we know what you mean by woke or DEI. You know you can't say that word. Because if you say that,
Right.
your political career is over. But y'all might as well just go on ahead and come on out and say it because of the policies that you're doing, rolling back. The Equal Rights Opportunity Act of 1965, y'all, by President Lyndon B. Johnson.
Crazy.
And y'all can't tell me I'm lying. Everything that I am saying is 100% true. So, Darren, as a black man in this country, how does that make you feel? And again, y'all have given him so much backlash for, oh, why he collab with only white girls? Well, he see him sitting here with a beautiful black woman today. So, I mean,
I got a rebuttal to that too,
go ahead.
which is a lot of people. I'm gonna answer both your questions. I've been waiting to answer this. So, I get like a lot of backlash because it's like, you know, predominantly it's white women. And it's not because of like, that's what I focus on. They just happen to be the most available and accessible at that time.
Mm-hmm.
When I love my black women, my ex-wife was black. I date black because they understand me. And nothing against white people. I love all races. You know what I mean? But predominantly, what I've come across in this industry is that usually the black women, it's more of like they more on it's a pay scale with them. So usually I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. So if you say, hey, I expected a certain amount to collab with you, I'm like, well, I got to look at it at a business standpoint. Whereas I may go to another side and it's, hey, it's just a mutual exchange. It's a fair content exchange. So that's one of the things. And then just in the adult industry, we have um, I just haven't come across a lot of black women. You know what I mean? It's a deficiency, if that's the right word to say. So I'm always up to collab with black women. That's like I want to say it's a misperception. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, it's just predominantly white women who are the most accessible and available. But no, I'm always ready to collab with black women. So I'm putting that out there now. I'm putting the bat signal out. Any black women, I'm here. I'm always down. Um, it's just finding more accessibility. Um, and then in your second question, as far as man, the state of the country. Man, we are in a weird place right now. You know what I mean? I mean, it's very frustrating what's going on. Between the rollbacks, the DEI. I didn't know about the LBJ, the Civil Rights, 1965.
Lyndon B. Johnson, he did away with that first day he was in office. And then we see
Wow.
him now, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it as well too. Women could have a baby, what's called a baby bonus. They want to pay
Mm,
you $5,000 to have a baby.
mm,
That's what they want to do with women. And the Save Act, have y'all heard about something called the Save Act? What that would do is if you're in I'm in the red state of South Carolina. And we know that
mm,
there's a lot of voter disenfranchisement, voter suppression. They will try to suppress black voters. For anybody who votes, you know that there's a lot of that. Gerrymandering, there's a lot of that going on as well too. And North Carolina, where I have family, I have a brother up there, I have a cousin up there, and I have a girlfriend up there. And do y'all know what they're doing with the North Carolina Supreme Court up there? Let me tell you. Democrat won the Supreme Court election. What they're trying to do is strip Democrats of their power. They're trying to overthrow an election in North Carolina and let
Mm.
Republicans rule. They tried to toss votes out in North Carolina as well too. That story is somewhere on my page. I have a lot of posts. So I stay really politically engaged. If you want anything, you want to know anything politically, fashion, beauty, I got you. It's here. I post it.
Yeah,
And
you
it's on
tapped in.
Democracy, Mark Elias, Democracy Doctrine. That's the source.
Mark Elias, Democracy. Okay, check that
They literally
out.
tried to throw out votes. They tried to do it in Georgia too. And then remember when they had to try to get them to hand count the ballots? They want to slow down the process to make sure the election was slow because Kamala was hot on his trail. Now he wants to go after pollsters because they didn't give him polls in his favor. Remember him? What was it? Wisconsin? Oh no, it was Iowa. The Iowa
Mhm.
pollster. It was a woman, and she gave Kamala a good review, and her polls were pretty good in Iowa. Donald Trump didn't like that. So now he wants to go after pollsters.
That's crazy.
This is a this is a 78-year-old man child if I haven't seen one.
What's up with
If they can't get the
uh?
vote, it's about maintaining
mm,
power and control. But go ahead, Darren. I've talked enough. You go ahead and ask.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to interrupt you, but what's up with this giving? Are they trying to force women into having babies, or what's up with this $5,000? If you have a kid, what's? Can you elaborate on that a little bit further?
It's your body, my choice, basically. It's
Mm-hmm.
deeply rooted in patriarchy and misogyny. Remember, Elon Musk said, "Wendy, we should have some more babies. We should populate more." Or he said something
Mm-hmm.
to that extent. Elon Musk said that. It's out there. They want women to have babies so that they can stay home. They don't want women to
Mm-hmm.
work. DEI initiative affects women as well too, not just white women, but black women too, because black people we've had it hard to get into these positions to be able to work, to be able to make a living, a decent living for ourselves. So
Opportunity.
DEI affects everybody to the Trump voters as well too. And I've seen TikTok videos of some of the Donald Trump voters saying, "Hey, I wanted to start a family." He called himself the champion of IVF, right? He said he was the godfather of what did he say? In fertilization, president of fertilization.
Crazy.
All of those things he said, it's on the record. Stripping away
Wow.
when Roe was overturned, Roe versus Wade was
Mm-hmm.
overturned, and Darren, you work in the adult business. So it's about consent. You don't do anything with anybody. So autonomy. Darren's body is his body. Uh, that goes for men too. A man's body is his body, and women should have the right to their own autonomy. I wouldn't feel comfortable with Donald Trump or JD Vance looking into my doctor's room, telling me what I need to do with my body or any other woman for that nature. And I asked women that question. I said, ladies, do you feel comfortable with having a man telling you what you can do with your body? Being in the business, in the adult business, it's about consent. It is about having your own autonomy and liberation, sexual liberation. That's what it's about. But
Freedom
what
of
Donald
choice.
Trump wants to do and Republicans want to do is they literally are jailing women for miscarrying. South Carolina down here in Orangeburg, which is like 25 minutes away from me, a black woman by the name of Amari Marsh was facing up to 22 years for miscarrying. Hadley
Wow.
Duval, who's another one. They're literally locking women up for miscarrying. So it's your body, my choice. And I'm going to say it because I said it when I did my interview with Christian Barber. You got another thing coming. Your balls, my earrings. Since my body is your choice. Your balls, my earrings. And I love diamonds too. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. So
Wow, that is so concerning. You know what's funny? I've
all of
seen
those
that.
things were going on. You didn't know they were going on, Darren?
With as far as the miscarriaging, that's crazy because I've only, what's funny? I've only seen that once. I've seen that in the Middle East. I've seen that. I used to be a contractor in Qatar, Doha guitar, and I never forget these women would be scared because over there, and that's what is that? That's Arabic law, Muslim law, Sharia law,
Yeah.
something of that nature. So it's a little bit extreme. So to see that coming, what happened was a lot of girls, if you had children out of wedlock, you weren't married, they would put you in jail. So a lot of the girls would flee the country. Like, if you were from a different country, whether you were from South Africa, you were Asian, whatever, British, whatever. A lot of them girls had to leave because they ended up getting pregnant without being married. They had to. So to see that, and back then that was what, 7 years ago. That was kind of very alarming to me, But the ball game over in the Middle East completely different. So to see that come into the U.S., little by little is extremely concerning.
And this is Amari
I mean, that's
Roach. For those of you who, yes, from Orangeburg, South Carolina. She spent 22 days in the Orangeburg Calhoun Regional Detention Center. And thank God, thank the Lord that the judge tossed her case.
wow.
You want to jail women for miscarrying. It's like your body, my choice. And remember how your husband, if you had a husband or any men in your family, they had to sign for women to get a credit card. They're trying to bring that back too. All of these policies that have been taken away, that have been harmful, he's bringing them back. He's reviving them. When I seen about the segregation where it said in business establishments, they said we don't want to have, bathrooms marked, okay, colored and whites only. Y'all have seen him sign all of these executive orders. I'm like, can somebody please take this man's damn pen already?
It don't stop.
And it's going to get a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse. When I seen the story, I couldn't even watch over the weekend. I've seen something where these babies were in like a detention center. There was a detention center for children being deported out the country. And they're like behind the glass. I can't even describe it. It literally made me sick. Because I'm like, why? And then some of them, you voted for this man. You voted against your own best interests. You voted to sock it to us black people. But guess what we're doing? We're out here living our best lives.
So true.
We're finding joy. You're seeing people line dance or going to a Houston party. Had to throw that in there, Darren.
that was
Oh,
slick. I
yes.
like that. That was real slick.
But black people are out here celebrating. Y'all want us to come to the rescue. Y'all voted for this. Have y'all seen the price of eggs? Because that was something that you also voted for as well too. I went to go when it was Easter. Darren mentioned Easter. When it was Easter and I went to go get some eggs for my mother to die. Do y'all know how much a damn dozen of eggs 18 are? About $7 down here in South Carolina.
Ooh, I ain't never seen eggs be that expensive.
And now you're having people break them up. You know how they sell, like if you're in New York, they sell the Lucy's or cigarettes in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But people are doing them. They're saying, "Hey, I got some eggs in a pack for you. I'll give them to you for this much." That's what people
Rationing
are
them.
having
Like,
to
it's
do. Ration things out.
so crazy.
If not that, but the farmers. Mr. Flores mentioned that as well too. To the farmers out here that voted for Donald Trump. How's your harvest doing? How's your crops doing? You're having to spend more, right? Is America great yet?
Some good points.
We had a farm down here near Denmark, South Carolina, and they had a Trump 2024 sign. Darren, when I tell you, I was cackling on the way back, and I'm going to tell you why. One of my school teachers, that's her family out there. My third grade school teacher, that was some of her family, and they voted for Donald Trump. So I'm seeing the Trump 24 sign out there. As we're coming out of Denmark, South Carolina, which is the home of Bakari Sellers, Dr. Cleveland Sellers, Voorhees University. Uh,
Okay.
I'm coming out of Denmark, South Carolina. The Trump 2024 flag is down, y'all. I said, this is
Oh,
fabulous.
no.
What made you change your mind so quick? Is America great again? Y'all voted for it.
How the tables turn.
Yes, Lord. Exactly. They're like $5 at Aldi stores. Ooh, that's another thing. The boycotts. Thank you for mentioning that, Chrissy. Black people spend money. Y'all have got it twisted. You need the black dollar. So that's why you seen Reverend Al Sharpton meeting with was it Target CEO? You see Reverend Jamal Bryant out here talking about what they can do. I'm sticking with Reverend Jamal Bryant. Stick to it. The boycott is helping because Target is losing money. They want the black dollars. The black dollar is powerful. Just like they spend money, black people spend money. Again, y'all got it twisted. Walmart is next. It's another boycott coming up. Amazon is next. Aldi's was also one that donated to Project 2025. All of these stores that donated to Project 2025. It is an app where you can go check to see who donated to who or predominantly dominates and donates to Republicans. It's called Good Unite Us. And I learned about that through our girl Politics by Tabitha. So you just punch in whatever store brand and it will tell
Mm.
you, okay, this store is Democrat. This store is Republican. TJ Maxx, you are free to shop at TJ Maxx because TJ Maxx tends to donate to Democrats. So there's a couple of stores out here. Kudos to Costco for standing on business.
Mm.
Kudos to Costco for standing on business saying, no, we will not get rid of this. When I seen Walmart and Target do it, and I'm just like, you got Tabitha, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it, Darren, with Tabitha Brown having her brand in the store. It's a lot of other black owned businesses in Target. I can go down the list, and I'm coming from a beauty standpoint. If I go into a beauty
Mhm.
aisle, and I'm looking at hair products, I see Tracy Ellis Ross's brand, Pattern. I see Taraji P. Henson. I see Tabitha Brown, Jesse's Curls. I think that's Miss Jessie's, I think is the brand. She not only has that, but she has home apparel. She has her cooking brand. I see Tia Mori, Sister. Her brand is in the store. I see Kenya Moore, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her
Wow.
brand is in the store. So it's dozens of black-owned brands. You go to that ethnic hair care aisle, or what they say, the ethnic hair care aisle, the hair care
Hmm.
aisle for us black people. You go in there and you will see all of those brands that I've named. And for Target to bend the knee, you do not bend the knee to fascism because they're going to keep taking away, taking away. It's insatiable for them. They can't get enough of the power. So Harvard University stood on business as well too. They're saying no, we're not going to do what you tell us to do, and it'll be other universities as well too. So what he did with Harvard is he cut funding from them. If you
Mm.
don't go
That's
with
crazy.
what he wants to do, he will cut funding. And I heard him literally say it to, I think, a governor in one of these meetings. He said, "Well, if you don't cut funding for trans women, then guess what? You're going to be cut." And she said, "Guess
Yeah,
what? We'll
I
see
saw
you in
that.
court. We'll see you in court." This man is raking in the lawsuits as we speak. And who do we have in charge of the DOJ? You guessed it best, Pam Bondi. And Pam Bondi is like his guard dog. You have Pam Bondi, you have Cash Patel. When I seen that Wisconsin federal judge being arrested for blocking Donald Trump's deportation plan, she said, if you don't follow through with it, we're coming after you. We'll find you and we'll come after you. And Cash Patel and Pam Bondi are both election deniers. They don't believe that he lost the 2020 election.
I recall hearing that from both of yep, from both of them.
They're both dangerous. The whole administration is dangerous. And people are talking about impeachment. No, no, no. It doesn't need to be impeachment. He was already impeached twice. It needs to be impeachment and removal. And it's going to take one half of the Republicans to be on board and one half of the Democrats to be on board. And they all have to align. But do you think Republicans will do that? No, because they're terrified of him. They're afraid of retribution. If you stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you don't stand up to fascism now, well, you'll have a total republic. We'll be looking like
Yeah, that's
Germany
cool.
in the 1930s. Go ahead, Darren. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you good. I'm just listening. I mean, it's very insightful. Um, I don't really have nothing to add on to it. I'm just listening and soaking in a lot of stuff that you're saying that I was uninformed on.
Yeah, the $5,000 that threw him for surprise, and I know it threw a lot of you for surprise. I'm like, wait, what? You want women to have babies, but we know why you want them to have babies so that they can stay home. Did you believe that a woman's
Yeah,
place is home and that the man of the house should be able to do what he's doing? These are these old patriarchal values. America is built like a business, and that comes from Dulce Sloan. Rich white men have always benefited and profited. Not the black people, working class. That's another thing. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are anti-union. They don't want you to be able to form a union. And so when I seen the Teamsters, what was it? One of the firefighters for Teamsters refused
mhm.
to endorse anybody. He said, I'm not endorsing any candidate. And the rest of the Teamsters union endorsed Kamala because she believes in you to be able to form a union. Donald Trump and Elon Musk have had everything handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah, because Donald Trump is what he's a third or second generation. Like, what's the phrase they call it? Trust fund baby or nepotism when they get the
Nepo
money
baby,
inherited to them or whatever.
you got it,
Yeah,
baby, you got it. Nepo baby.
hmm yeah,
Everything handed down to him. 6 failed businesses, and you want to know what is the 7th failed business that he has? The United States of America.
yeah. I thought that's where he's
China
going
said,
with it.
"Boom,
The government.
I got you. I'm gonna bring fashion into this because y'all know I'm a fashion girl." China said, "Checkmate. I got you." So y'all know
Mm,
all of these designers that we love to wear, our Louis Vuitton, our Gucci, our Versace, our Prada. China said, checkmate, bitch. I got you. I got you. I'm going to show you. We going to reveal how these clothes are really made. Mhm. China revealed all
wow.
the secrets. They said, we didn't have no conversation with you because he's losing the trade war with China. China's got your one up.
Yeah, that's a battle. I don't think we're gonna win. China's
Tough.
tough.
And it's his alpha. Trump is an alpha male. He has to be
Mm,
in power. He doesn't like to lose, and he said it himself. In 2016, or when was it? In the 2020 election, he said, "I don't like to lose. If I lose, I might not leave." What do y'all think that he's going to do now that he's touting Trump 2028 a third term? That is unconstitutional. The Constitution states that you should only have 2 presidencies, not 3, not 4, not 10. Monarchs, dictators, kings ruled for centuries.
right, not presidents. It's 8 years.
Hitler lasted for about 12 years, centuries, decades. And it took something to happen for him to let go of that power. And it was the Allies who came in, swarmed in, and got those people out of those camps. So when he says, I'm thinking about deporting homegrown citizens, who do you think he's going after next? These prisons. What did he tell the dictator of El Salvador? We need to build about 5 more. Black people. We're next. We're the homegrowns. We know what you want to say. The veil is off. You might as well
Yeah.
just come out and say what you want to say to us. The
Man,
racism is here and it's apparent.
we in troubling times for sure. Like I said, this man, we just 3 months in, so I tell everybody, buckle up.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yes. And Republicans, y'all gonna have to stand up to this man. Y'all are gonna have to stand up to him because if y'all cower in fear, he's gonna continue to keep bulldozing over you. That's another thing. Some of their family members were attacked. Some of their family members Trump went after. Elon Musk went after. Doge, what is Doge? Department of Government Efficiency. You're locking the Democrats out of the Department of Education. When I seen that video, I was fuming. I was mad. I was livid.
That's a
The
bridge too
Department
far
of
for sure.
Education that's been around for years. And you want to get rid of that. You want to do away with that. Trump said he loves the poorly educated. That's why. So these are the times that we're in, y'all. And I just want y'all to think about this. Think about it. Wrap your
Buckle
mind
up.
around it.
And it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
And it's going to get a whole lot worse. It's going to get a whole lot worse. If you don't pet his ego, if you don't bend the knee and give him what he wants, he's going to come after you. And then Governor
So
Josh
concerned.
Rigo's home was torched. Did y'all know that? Did y'all see that video? They caught the gentleman who did this. It's no coincidence. Planes are falling out the sky. He was told to turn that plane around. Did he listen to the order? No, he overrid everything that the federal judge and the Supreme Court who granted him immunity. He totally disregarded that. That's something a dictator would do because you don't believe in checks and balances. You're above the law. You are a monarchy.
Yeah, that situation was a mess. A straight mess.
And then this is what they did, Darren. This is the first thing they did. Well, Biden, nope. Biden's not president. Biden is not president no more. The man who is president right now, excuse me, I'm sorry, let's use the terms correctly. He is a dictator of the United States. That's not presidential. And there's nothing presidential about what he's doing. This is straight out of Hitler's playbook. They tried to blame it on Biden. No, those planes and firing people from the NOAA, and then you tried to post the blame on Biden. No, Biden's not president. The person who's responsible is the orange man. That's who's responsible. So,
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. Biden this and Biden that. That's like they fall back. You hear that frequently.
oh yeah, they love to do that. They blame shift.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they always draw back to that.
So let's shift the gears here. We discuss everything political. So
Yeah.
yes, fashion dolls. Before we
That was
wrap, because I have
heavy.
another interview coming up in a minute, we have Lance D. Thompson Jr. Hopefully he's able to join
Okay.
us and I can discuss on all three together. But I'm going to let
Be
Darren
awesome.
ask me some questions in a segment I like to call Turn Those Tables. So this is where my guests get to ask me as many questions as they want. And it can be on fashion, beauty, whatever they want to know. Fashion dolls. Take it away, Darren. My heart is beating
Oh
fast.
wow. You put me on the spot. Okay, okay. Well, how long have you been in the fashion industry?
I started Style by Stevie and getting into fashion right after high school, 2016.
Wow.
And what I love is that my sister principal, she taught me how to pronounce the designers' names, all of that. She saw me sketching because at the time I wanted to go for fashion mass communications or
Mm-hmm.
fashion illustration. And I was sketching in the lunchroom one day and she came and she tapped me over the shoulder. She said, I see you like fashion. So she bought me some Vogue magazines, and the Vogue
Mm.
magazines were this thick. Because you know, when it's New York Fashion Week time, they drop an issue where it's like 800 pages. My mouth was on the floor, literally, because
Wow.
I have never seen that many pages in a fashion magazine. And my very special guest is here, Fashion Dolls, and we're kicking it with Darren Blaze. If you want to stick around, Darren, because it is time for my second interview with Lance D. Thompson Jr., Fashion Dolls. So,
Okay.
yes, I'm going to check in. I'm going to keep getting to Darren's questions, and let me add Lance to the live.
All
But
right.
yes, she taught me so much about fashion just from reading all of that. Welcome.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Hey,
Welcome
good.
to the
How about yourself?
Dollhouse
Oh,
King.
all right, all right, all right. Salute to y'all.
It is such a pleasure to have you.
Likewise, likewise.
We have two amazing brothers here on the platform. We have Darren Blaze, and Darren was asking me some questions. But we were just segueing in what we can do to move forward, and we'll get into that. But Darren, you were saying, how did I get into the fashion industry? How did I get into business? It was through my assistant principal.
Ye-
She taught me so much about the business and just how to pronounce the designers' names, everything. It was so much fun learning from her.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful. I know you got Lance on the call, so I ain't gonna. I don't want to hold his time up too much, but I'll wrap it up with this. Two things. What do you like about the fashion industry, and what don't you like about the fashion industry?
What I love is that you have so many amazing designers, so many fabulous designers. And what I don't love is that they don't highlight black fashion designers enough. Yes.
Are you
So
saying like a Virgil, and that's I don't know much about the fashion industry, but I'm just a casual. So Virgil Abloh, that's just kind of like an outlier already. A Dapper Dan, even though he didn't get his flowers until way late. But those are just kind of like anomalies. Is that what you're saying, pretty much?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's like you have to build your own. I mean, there's so many black fashion designers, and there's one I can take you back in time in history. Did y'all know that a black woman designed Jackie Kennedy's gown? Her name was
Wow.
Anne Lowe, a black woman. So these are things we need to be learning. We need to learn our history more, especially as it pertains to black fashion, black history. Patrick Kelly, um, a lot of his designs, the teddy bear. If you've seen teddy bears, you know he was notorious for that. But when we see teddy bears now, we think of Moschino, when we think of teddy bears because
Mhm.
they have the teddy bear fragrances and things. But there's so many black fashion designers who were underrated who did not get their just due. Another one was Willie Smith, who was a popular designer in the 80s as well too. And his sister was on 227, Tukey Smith. She was married to Robert De Niro. Did you guys know that? So it's
Um,
about time that we trace our ancestors, learn our history as it pertains to all aspects of the fashion industry, as it pertains to anything.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, hey, I don't want to take up your time. I'm really grateful to be on your platform. I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna let you get with the brother Lance, and I'll stick around in the shadows and just see what great things y'all got to say. But again, thank you for having me on the platform. Can I do a shout out?
Yes, go ahead.
I plug myself. Okay. Well, if it's your cup of tea, you know what I do. It's not, it's 18 and up, mature work, but follow me on OnlyFans, Darren Blaze, Linktree, Darren Blaze. You can see all the exciting things that you like, and I appreciate all the support, whether it's good, bad, and again, grateful. So, thank you to everybody out there.
Yes, for sure. And Darren,
Salute,
I would
brother.
love to have you back on.
Appreciate you. Thank
Uh,
thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the Dollhouse, King. I'm not going to keep you long. It's going to be approximately 15 minutes because I'm being critical of the time.
Appreciate
So
the invite.
before we start,
Appreciate you.
you're welcome, and it is such an honor to have you here. I'm such a fan of your work. You are a poet. You are a Renaissance man, a man who does it all. I call a Renaissance man because you do it all. You not only write poetry, you not only do music, but you act, you write, you direct. You wear so many hats. So before we kick off this interview, how has your 2025 been for you so far?
Uh, so far so good. I mean, so far so good. I mean, just putting God first this year in
Come
everything
on.
I do. So can you hear me?
Yes, you froze
Uh,
up for a second, but you're back. Yes, you said, I love what you just said, which is putting God first in everything that you do. That should be all the time for each and every one of us that are listening. In these times, me and Darren just got through having a whole conversation about what's going on, all the craziness. But if you are faith based, put God first in everything that you do. So I'm glad that you said that, King.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Lance D. Thompson Jr., Fashion Domes. Tell us, let's start your story from the beginning. I like to start at the beginning
Okay.
of everyone's story to find out how did they get to this point in their life. I like to start at the beginning. So tell us, who is Lance D. Thompson Jr. and how many siblings? What was his passion growing up? What was his inspiration growing up?
Okay. So when you say Lance D. Thompson Jr., that's my government name, and it's also my professional name when I'm acting. So Poetic Justice is my stage name when I'm doing music. So you say how many siblings do I have? I have two sisters and a brother. And what was my passion? I guess I say from the beginning as a child, I used to just be in my room just writing and just writing just songs or whatever, just writing. I thought I was gonna be an inspired rapper, but that was just like something I was toying with. I always loved actors and everything they brought to the table, but never really pursued it. Then moving forward in 2013, I was living in Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas for like 15 years. And whenever I was frustrated, I always thought, well, do you allow people to cuss on your platform?
Yes, I just got through doing a few of them
Oh, all right,
before we
all right,
move on. So yes.
all right. All right, cool. I had to make sure. So I was always the type of person, wherever, you know what I'm saying, a person showed their ass is where I show mine at. So, as my sister told me, she was like, well, you need to start writing. And it's 2013, write out your pain. I'm like, I ain't about to write, man. Forget that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to write. So I was dating this girl at the time. And man, she was my dream come true. And I had got divorced from my wife, my childhood sweetheart, and it didn't even hurt as much as it hurt breaking up with this female. I mean, Puerto Rican and black stack, you know what I'm saying? Big old ass, big old titties, the whole 9 yards, you know what I mean? So it's like I thought that she was the one. So when me and her broke up, I actually cried. Shed tears, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, no, why did you hurt me? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So I started going to the gym, started boxing, and I started writing a order to break up. Are you still there? I started,
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
I started writing myself out of turmoil. I was talking to my female friend Elena, shout out to Elena, and she was giving me the jewels on the do's and don'ts what you do out of bad relationships. So I was like, man, Steve
Mm.
Harvey came out with Think Like a Man. I said I should write this into a book, like a self-help guide. So I wrote that book. It's the art of the breakup. Wrote myself out of the breakup. So then I said I want to write a song. I want to talk to love like love is, you know what I'm saying, a person and not an emotion. So I wrote this song called Dear Love. That was my first song. And people was telling me, well, you need to slow it down and do like spoken word. So I'm like, what is spoken word? And they were like, well, it's like poetry. And I really, at that time, wasn't a fan of poetry because I'm like, I didn't get when people saying the ink in a well runs deep. Like, it was like too, you know what I'm saying, out of my league then. So what I started doing was I created my own lane. I call it spoken floetry, spoken word and poetry mixed together over hip hop and R&B beats. So I wrote my first poem called Dear Love. Published that book, The Art of the Breakup, and then I liked the way that I was able to let out my feelings and you know what I mean help others. So I just kept going. The next book was The Literatures of Love. That was all poetic. The next book was Erotic Expressions, Trapped in the Devil's Playground, Engagement Gone Wild. So then after that, you know what I mean, when it came down to music, I'm like, well, I always on my bucket list, I wanted to actually write a song. So one of my partners at the time, he invited me to the studio. So I'm in there with drug dealers and killers and shit. And I'm doing love songs and talking about, and they was actually embracing me, giving me love. Like, man, that's what's up. You talking about things I wish I can talk about. So that inspired me to keep going further. So as far as like where the acting portion came in 2015, I took an acting class in Las Vegas and I made it all the way to the top, world class modeling and talent. Made it all the way to the top. They was getting ready to send me to New York, the whole 9 yards. And my ex-wife passed away. So that killed that dream. So I moved back to Chicago. So I moved back out here. I just gave that up just while I was in the casino. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was in the casino. I was running a poker room and things of that sort. So I let that dream go to the waistline. But then I started reaching out to shout out to Marcus Carruthers. Marcus Carruthers took his class, got into his film Cities of Vultures 4 and Bafia and everything that he put together for me in the demo reel. I was able to submit to like some casting directors for the Shy. They like me. They put me in the Shy. So now I'm in the Shy. I got a speaking role. My character name is John. I'm I'm on this season coming out. It'll be May 16th. I'm on episode 8 and 9. So my character name is John, and I own my own online radio station, CMI Radio. My wife and I, yeah. So I gave a voice to the voiceless. So it's like provide a platform for all independent artists and stuff of that nature. And I got my music on the other independent artists' music. Did I answer your question, or I ran along too much?
I'm literally sinking in everything you just said because me and Darren just talked about that, giving a voice to the voices, especially black voices, more than ever, in a time where they're trying to erase. But I also want to applaud you on something else as well too, which is finding that outlet. A lot of black men do not have that outlet of being able to vent because the black community for so long we have been taught sweep it under the rug. Don't talk about it. Don't be vulnerable. Don't share what you're feeling. But you put it into something. You were smart. You were strategic, and you put it into your books. You wrote what you were feeling. You wrote about your environment and where you grew up. So hats off to you for doing that, King, because we need to see more and more black men do that. And we're seeing more and more black men be vulnerable and share bits and pieces of themselves, how they feel as it pertains to family, how it pertains to whatever it is that they're experiencing in their life. So kudos to you for that. And also giving a voice to the voiceless, especially independent artists, black independent artists. And I keep stressing that over and over again on this platform because, yes, a black woman is the face of it. I am the face of it. I own it. But I want to make sure that I'm including everybody because it was Anjanou Ellis. She said it best. I don't want a seat at the table. I want the acres of land. I want everything that is rightfully due to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for us as black people in this business, in this entertainment business, we should each and every one of us be giving independent artists an opportunity, up and coming producers, up and coming filmmakers. And that is my segue into the next question that I wanted to ask you as well too. What do you think about the rise of independent black filmmakers out here in the business who are going and creating their own content and telling their stories from personal experience?
I think I think it's a blessing that the platform is here for us to put our material and everything out, because this ain't like back in the day in the 90s where you really had to go to
No.
Hollywood to get, you know what I'm saying, recognized. Like, think about it, right? I'm talking to you on an iPhone. This iPhone maybe was $1,000, but all the features on this phone that we talk about in the 90s, where you talk about a camera, a video recorder, being able to talk to somebody. This is basically, we talk about the 90s. This is like being on TV right here. You know what I
Right.
mean? With like all the platforms are right here and on to our waistline. So it's like for us to utilize everything, I feel like it's phenomenal. I just feel like that we shouldn't just stop. You know what I'm saying? At just the entry level. Some things are entry level. Like some movies on Tubi, I applaud everybody who got, you know what I'm saying, entry level movies on there, but just keep going. Keep going. If you want to be an actor, become an actor, and then get your SAG card. Become unionized. You know what I'm saying? Union, you know, nothing wrong with being, a lot of people be afraid to become SAG. Well, it's like SAG stands for Screen Actors Guild. They protect you, so and they give you rights and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, can't nobody play you when you're doing these films and everything. So like, definitely get your feet wet. Definitely, you know what I'm saying, do the groundwork, and definitely, you know what I'm saying, keep going high. Don't stop. Don't let nobody tell you that what you can't do. If somebody tell you can't do it, definitely do it 10 times or more.
Come on, poetic. And that's and you know who else just recently said something like that? Where we're seeing them try to erase our history, our lineage, and tell us we can't, no, you can't do this because you're black, because of the color of your skin. This is what Jamie Foxx said on the red carpet one day. He says, they try to erase our history. Guess what? We go and we make more.
Hey,
And
man.
I think a lot of us will continue to keep doing that more than ever, especially being in this business, for you being and not just an actor but an innovator, being a voice to other black men out here as well too, for them to open up and say, hey, I can be vulnerable. If he can share his truth and how he feels about how his wife, how his family, how God makes him feel on a spiritual connection, on a spiritual level, that's powerful. That speaks numbers, poetic.
Appreciate it. And if you're interested in bringing your show to CMI Radio, let me know. You know what I mean? I might have a slot for you.
I might bring my fabulousness over there.
I got you. We on iHeart as well.
Definitely. So shout it out. And that's another thing. It was Roland Martin. Roland Martin said we need to be supporting black media, CMI radio. So make sure y'all go and support this brother here. Support the other brother too. Support Darren Blaze. Make sure that you support these black men, black people. We have to support each other more than ever, especially in these times. And I had the conversation with my colleague Al Tit for Tat. I will be on the panel tonight. I have not forgot if I'm still up. But we need to be supporting black media. So that was another question that I wanted to ask you also too, Poetic. How important is black media now more than ever than anything?
They try to always take our voice from us,
Hello.
but we was always creative with our voice. Now, if you go back to the slave time where our ancestors was picking cotton, we spoke messages and songs. That's why the white folks, you know what I'm saying, wanna tear us down. They can't be like us because from the beginning of the time, all we had was our art. All we had was our voice. They'd be sitting there singing a song, picking cotton, and they're giving you the keys to the Underground Railroad. You know what I'm saying? So like they can't imitate us. They mad because they can't be us. So always, you know what I'm saying? If you got a voice, speak it. Black media is, you know what I'm saying, is the best because they try to suppress us for the longest. It's our time to shine. We're no longer than the minorities. They are. You know what I'm saying?
And that is true. That was something else Roland Martin and others have been echoing is that they want to suppress black voices. We know our truth. We know our stories.
Right.
But y'all want to silence the truth, which is why you're going in the Smithsonian Museum. You're erasing historical artifacts. You're trying to take away Harriet Tubman, all of these things. We know the real true history of this country. You can't erase black people because we are here. We are embedded in this country and we are citizens too. We were the first here. Let's keep it a stack on that. So as it
Love.
pertains
Real shit.
to the black voice, you can't silence us because we will always have our platforms. So you've got Lonnie Love. You said CMI Radio. Make sure that you guys are going and supporting Poetics Radio with his radio station with his wife. Check it out. Make sure you guys please go and check it out. Lonnie Love has Cafe. I remember she did Cafe Mocha Radio. Lonnie Love from the Real Daytime and so many others. Of course we got Ricky Smiley, as Poetic mentioned, Steve Harvey. Black media, we all need to be supporting black media more than ever. You have myself, you have Joy Reid, you have Don Lemon. You have so many other black news outlets out here that give to the black voice. And it is important. My colleague Bubs the God, shout outs to him in the Detroit area. Make sure that you are going out here. CTV, who I had on last week. So make sure that you're going and you're supporting these platforms, every black platform. Make sure that you're going and supporting them because it's key and critical more than ever. So definitely, I had to show that. I had to show some love, King. I had to plug it all because we have to be represented. They can't erase us. We're here, and we're gonna be all right. Black people, we will survive. And it goes back to what Poetic just said when he came in the interview, which is put God first. So if you faith based and you believe, trust. This ain't the first. We've been through some stuff, and it won't be the last. We're going to get through it. We're going to be all right because one thing black people know how to do is survive. We know how to survive and we know how to make it. We always reinvent ourselves. Y'all saw how Joy Reid, they took her show, but they didn't break her spirit. They didn't break her spirit. They didn't break her soul. And that's one thing as black people we've learned to do. We've been through despair. We've been through pain. We all of the different emotions that we are all feeling collectively. We feel it. But
Definitely.
one thing they can't take away from us is our joy and our God. Because trust, there is one who sits high and not the orange one who calls him, who wants to be a God that occupies
That's right.
the White House. Because
That's right.
he's a deity, he's a fascist. But that's neither here nor there. There's one king, there's one lawmaker, there's one Alpha and Omega, and that is that man who sits above upstairs. So this man who is an occupant of the White House, yeah, he rolling back. But guess what? Like Jamie Foxx said, we're going to keep continuing to make history. And I'm going to be here to keep encouraging our people, black people, all around. So
Definitely.
that's why I created Style by Stevie, because I'm just like, where is a platform where a black woman just talks about fashion? She talks about all of the things that matter to her and other people as well, too. And boom, Style by Stevie. I was brainstorming. I started it right after high school. And now me being 31 years old. Yes, I gave away my age. Me being 31 now, uh, coming into my light saying, okay, I want to make sure that every Black voice in this business, producers, directors, writers, are included as well in these spaces. Because where y'all see what they're doing to Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler's film, Sinners, is killing it in the box office. And now they want to make it seem as like, oh no, it's not all. No, the man did his big one with this film. All of his films, from Black Panther to Wakanda Forever, they have all maxed out and sold out in box office. And that is the power of, as Poetic just said, that's the power of Black people. We are the culture. They love stealing the culture from us. We are the innovators. We are the makers. And so they figure, hey, I'll give you an example. And I work in beauty and fashion. Y'all know that. Brown lip liner. Black women have been doing it for years. Toni Braxton, Mary J. Blige, T-Boz from TLC. They've been overlining lips. It's a thing Black women have been doing for years. They want to go and rename it something. And guess what they wanted to rename it? The brownie lip.
The what?
Cornrows, the brownie lip. Because I'm pretty sure your wife would know, Poetic. The
Right.
women wear makeup. They line their lips with brown lip liner.
Right.
It's a thing we do. But they want to rename it. I think it was Hailey Bieber. Hailey Bieber, who's the wife of Justin Bieber, she done went and started some stuff on TikTok talking about, oh, it's the brownie lip liner. No. The women who started this trend were Toni Braxton, Janet Jackson, Mary J. Blige, T-Boz from TLC, Monica, Brandy. You would always see them overline their lips.
My ex-wife.
Cornrows. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a part of Black culture. That's our heritage, because they would braid in rice seeds in the hair to make the crops grow. Slaves would do that. And y'all want to call it something else. Y'all want to call it boxer braids. Khloe Kardashian. We invent the culture. They steal the culture. So that's how it's always been. And Black people, we never reap the garments of it. We never reap the benefits. It's always them.
Did you know? Not to cut you off. Did you know? Like back in the day, in the 20s and the 30s, when they first started doing film on TV, the white folks used to put on black faces. They used to put on black faces to look like us. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they couldn't emulate our style and dance like us. So then that's when they started hiring Black people in films, because they wanted our style and our entertainment. So that goes to what you were just saying.
And look what they're doing now. Do y'all see my lips? Y'all see my nose? White women are literally paying to look like Black women. Y'all are paying to look like us because we are the blueprint.
Yeah.
Y'all want our noses. Y'all want our lips. You want all of the features of a Black woman.
Yeah.
Oh, Derek, I remember with the beads. Oh, yes, I remember. I know. She running on the beach and she got the beads in her hair. I know who you're talking about. But yes, it's time for Black people to get what is rightfully due to us.
Right.
And rightfully so. So you can try to erase it and say, oh, it's a DEI. They're a DEI hire. Well, what about you?
I got a song called Just Us. So, you know what I'm saying? See if y'all could download that. Is on all streaming platforms. Poetic Justice, Just Us. JUST, and then us. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's just us. I want y'all to listen to that. And I want y'all to also listen to Freedom. I wrote that. And another one I wrote called Let Me Live. So, you know, it talks about everything that you're just saying.
Yes. And I'm glad you speak on it, King, because more and more Black, we need to continue to keep using our platform to call out the injustice, to call out the racism, to call it out, because that's exactly what it is, these attacks on us. Y'all think y'all hurting us and breaking our soul and our spirit. But Black people, we are invincible. Trust, we will bounce right back. From slavery to the civil rights movement to having dogs and water hoses turned on us, we have done what? We have bounced back. And from this right here, we will bounce back too. And I'm hearing a lot of people say, I don't know what to do. I don't know how we'll make it, Miss Stevie. You will make it. You will wake up. God will make it so that you will wake up And I wake up every day. I wake up with a purpose to do this platform, to do this show, because I know so many people look forward to hearing my voice and opinion on things. I want you to be joyful. I want you to be optimistic. And never forget what Poetic just said a few minutes ago, what this king here just said. Put God first in everything that you do. If you are faith-based, you got a praying grandmother. You got a praying mother. My mother she's been seeing the headlines and everything. And my mother said, God ain't sleep. He sees every single thing.
Mm.
Somebody messaged me from my state because I'm in South Carolina. So someone got in my comments and she messaged me. She was like, this fool is taking over. He doing everything. I said, God ain't sleep. God is not sleep. He sees everything. You just
Right.
see what happened to George Santos. How you know? You see what happened to George Santos. You see what happened to anybody who's tried to hurt people. So to the
Mm-hmm.
people out here who think that they're doing something to Black people, they're hurting us. You're gonna hurt yourself in the end result as well too. And that's my message I wanted to do in my show today. I wanted to do that. I wanted to have these hard-hitting conversations with these two amazing Black men, Darren and Poetic Justice here. So everybody's included. You know me for giving the woman perspective, for having these conversations with women. We do have another girl talk panel coming up. It'll be later this year. But I wanted to have the conversations with men, get their thoughts on how they feel about it. Black men, because Black men are impacted too.
Mm-hmm.
Their jobs, their families, they're being impacted as well. So had to speak out loud and clear. Let me get off my soapbox. I'm starting to turn into Angela Davis Poetic.
That's why I do your thing, shit. Do your thing.
Yes,
Speaking the
yes.
truth.
I had to, but we need to know these things. We need to know these things. We need to know our history. We need to know our lineage. So the Smithsonian Museum, one of the most prestigious museums there is, that has the artifacts of us as Black people. Those artifacts are now being removed as we speak from the Trump administration. And I just spoke about this with Darren. So it's important that we protect our legacy, our history. It's important that we continue to teach the real history, because when we were going to school, the history we learned was basically what? Martin Luther King. Yes, but there are so many others out here
Right.
besides Martin Luther King.
Right.
Madam
Right.
C.G. Walker. The basics is what they teach us, but it's so many others. What about Marcus Garvey?
Mm-hmm. The one that got shot down, you know what I'm saying, by his
What
neighbor
about
in front of his house.
Huey P. Newton? What about James
Right.
Baldwin? Marsha P. Johnson? What about all of these Blacks who were out here on the front lines? Baynard Rustin. There's so many others, and their stories do not get told. So that's why when I created this platform, I said I want to make sure that every voice, every Black voice in the business is heard. So when I reached out to Poetic, he just like, well, you know, what he was like this. You know how T-Boss and TLC looked at Chili when she came in the group? He was like this, like, where are you from? Where I know? How you know me? That's when I reached out to him. I said, I want to give a Black voice, a
I appreciate
Black
you.
voice to other Black voices out here. You're welcome, King. Anytime. We have to make sure that we are amplifying our voices more than ever, because they are trying to take our voices away from us. Al is laughing. But it's true. It's true. It's true. And I want to make sure that we all have it out here. So while Black people are busy, we're busy forming community. We're busy focusing on our own. We're busy making sure that our own has everything that they need and then some. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it should be. Our families are taken care of. Our families are good. We're getting back to the old times where we would have cookouts. We would be with our families. We would spend time with families. We throw parties. Black people out here celebrating and living their best life. And I can't blame them. We are saying get somebody else to do it, because we didn't put this mess in the White House.
Hey, man. Hey, Miss Stevie, hate to rush you off the phone. That's my agent calling. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, I had to run.
And
Appreciate you having me on the
it was
platform,
such a
though.
pleasure having you here, King. I wish you could stay longer. You and Darren, they both. See, again, Black businessmen. Make sure y'all go and y'all support him. And King, let everyone know where they can follow you and check you out.
Poetic Justice 79 on IG, on Facebook, Lance D. Thompson Jr., And then make sure y'all check out Seeing My Radio. Seeing My Radio everywhere. SeeingMyRadio.org. And then I'm trying to get you to bring your platform over to Seeing My Radio. We got the voice for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about it. Come on through. Holla at your boy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you so much. And again, Fashion Dolls, thank you all so much for tuning in. Joining me tomorrow, Terry Smith joins me. So make sure you guys tune in. I love you all, and I will see you then. And head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. We are well off on the way to 800 episodes, y'all. So thank y'all so much for your love and support unconditionally. And again, make sure you're supporting these brothers, support Black owned businesses, and take care, everybody.
All right, love. Later.
Take care.